Evening all from the speed shop. Just here working late, getting the bikes ready, the postie bikes ready for tomorrow. Just got a group out tomorrow and then the next day, and then out and about over the weekend. So yeah, I'm just down here. I thought I'd do a video, an update on the fleet, because there's always something seems to be happening with the fleet of bikes. First and foremost, Dorothy, from which the speed shop took its name. Dorothy, this is a postie bike that I rode from Sydney to London, then New York to Alaska. Given the name Dorothy by her previous owner, Colin, whose favourite character from A Wizard of Oz was Dorothy, hence the name of the bike. And 10 years later, she's got her own speed shop. So Dorothy, I was out on her the other day guiding a group, and she finally ticked over the 100,000 kilometre mark, which was good to see. I did record it as it went over, so I shall update that video separately. So yeah, it went round 00000, and now we're up to 42 kilometres. So 60,000 miles. There are other Cub engine bikes with more. There was somebody commented on a post saying they got a Cub with 94,000 on it. So they certainly will go longer. I think the thing with Dorothy, she had a tough old time coming over the Himalayas and things like that and across Alaska. So she certainly earned a keep, and probably needs a bit of work now. But yeah, so she's... happy birthday, Dorothy. CRF's doing okay. All the update on the CRF is the 250 Rally is that it's going to need some new tyres. So the IRCs are running low. Probably another couple of runs out on those. I've been looking to replace them with the same IRC tyres, but I can't seem to find any listed in the UK. I'm sure they must be available. Other than that, look at some Anarchy Wilds or some TKC 80s. I want something that works on the road as well as off-road, because obviously that's where it spends a lot of its time. But the 250 Rally, doing well. It's got the lowering link on the back, which is a bit squeaky. Ideally, I'd replace it for a 300 Rally, but they're difficult to get hold of and a little bit out of the price range at the minute. Maybe in a few months' time, I'll start to look at swapping that or upgrading that for people to ride. Next up, we've got the Himalayan, the Euro 5 bike, which sadly has got a bent handlebar. It seems a common theme. It's also got no oil in it. I'm just doing the first service on it. Proving very difficult to get bikes in for any servicing at the minute. Everywhere is booked up. So I've just done the oil change myself, and I'm just going to whip the bike down with the tank off down to our local bike shop, who's going to do a valve check on it just to make sure it's done properly. I can do it myself, but I'd rather with a brand new bike let a professional do it. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It's got a bent handlebar, only a little bit. Which side? This side just comes back a little bit. It was just a gentle topple, actually. It's a bit disappointing that they bend so easy. It was somebody let me know that when they dropped it, these bars bent into the tank, which I'd never known before. Maybe it was an issue with the old tank frames, but these have definitely been redesigned on the new one, and I wonder if they've been redesigned to make them not as strong, or the result of them being redesigned has made them not as strong. So, yeah, interesting. I've also got a video to put up where I tried a bike that got the new cam in it. I can't remember, not the Hitchcock's ones, the other one, which is supposed to add 4 brake horsepower. So I've got a video of that to upload. That made it an interesting thing. You know, you definitely give it a bit more zip. Whether you can transform a Himalayan into a flying machine, I'm not sure, you know. But it definitely was effective. And for 200 quid, seemed a good thing. Himalayan, that one's all right. KTM 390's holding up all right. CB500X, people are starting to find that, are liking that more and more. I'm having more people coming through it and just enjoying it. You know, they like the Honda fit refinement and easy controls, light clutch, and just the overall sense of quality that bike has. So yeah, the 500X is certainly winning more plaudits than it did when it first came on fleet, when I think people were trying to figure out where it sat. But yeah, last few days went out over Dartmoor on it with a few other bikes, and yeah, people really liked it. The biggest surprise, to be honest, this month has been the 310 GS. So I took this to Sweetland for the off-road training weekend that I ran up there with the guys at Sweetland. Turn music off. I took this because I'd not done a long trip on it. All I'd done is ride it around North Devon. And I'd been maybe a bit critical of it in the past, and I thought, well, if I'm going to be critical of a bike, I really need to give it a good ride, you know, to really do any criticism justice. On the motorway up there, up to North Wales, Mid Wales, it was fine actually. It's set at 70, 75, pushed on to 80, 85. I think flat out it sort of does 90. That's what I got it up to. So not a flying machine, a little bit faster than the Himalayan, certainly a little bit more top ends it, but I'm not sure it sort of cruises along the roads on the A roads any faster. I was followed at one point on the weekend by a well-ridden Himalayan, and he kept up with it. Actually, no problem. So he was maybe a faster rider than me, but he certainly showed that the Himalayan isn't any slower than the 310 GS, even though it's 10 brake horsepower down. But where the 310 really shone was off-road. I just thought it really worked really well as an off-road bike at Sweetlam. Lovely engine, you can really wring its neck. Really responsive. You can real great connection between throttle, engine, and the back wheel, and that just allowed you to really ride the wheels off the bike. Really, and the standing position is good, and the balance and the controls are good. It has got a little bit of a snatchy clutch and that difficulty of pulling away without stalling it sometimes, but it's got a lovely balance when it's up and running, and you can have a lot of fun off-road with it. I think with the Rally Raid Stage 1 kit, that's probably all I'd do. I think that would make it an exceptional little adventure bike. So that really won me over, actually, and I think it looks good. I still think it's a good-looking bike with those knobblies on, those Kenda big blocks, which are perfectly fine in the dry, but a bit terrible, got to be honest, in the wet. And that's it. The other thing to note is this Himalayan's also got bent handlebars. It got flat tire and then must have had a slow puncture. I came into the unit one morning and the bike was on its side with the bent handlebar and a bent brake lever, so that's going to need replacing. So yeah, Himalayan handlebars made of cheese, unfortunately, but other than that, all good. So that's an update on the fleet. Yeah, so out tomorrow, get the bikes clean, get them serviced, get the posties ready. So it's good getting out on the posties. I've got a few new routes now because it's busy down here in North Devon. There's a lot of tourists heading for the beaches. So did a new route the other day which takes you away from the beaches out onto Exmoor first and then works around the beaches towards the end of the day when it's a bit quieter. So yeah, that worked really well actually. So and yesterday we went over Dartmoor with the bigger bikes. So a couple of new routes. I'll be putting some new dates up on the website www.dorothyspeedshop.com for postie bike rides, the A2 rides and the 650 twin rides. And also got the CT125s coming mid-August. Well, early August, but road rideable mid-August. So yeah, that should be good to ride them back-to-back with the original 110s and kind of see how they fare really. Just see which people prefer, the new, easy to ride, refined, reliable versions or the old clanky, cantankerous original CT110s with all their charm. So who knows what's going to happen. So yeah, as we enjoy a roasting hot summer's day, I hope everyone's got big plans for adventure whilst we can. It's a funny old world at the minute. Who knows what we're going to be allowed or not allowed to do next year. It almost feels like the conditions in which my adventure back in 2009, when I just left Sydney on a whim, heading for England, the world has changed, and that sort of spontaneity, that ain't coming back anytime soon. So I hate to break it to you, but if you haven't done your big trip, I don't think you're going to be doing it tomorrow. So make the best of your local riding environment is what I would unfortunately say. But there's some great riding to be had, so take it easy. Cheers.